Hey, good afternoon. My name's Chris Gunn, and once again, welcome to my channel, Chris Gunn's Bourbon Barrel Creations. So in today's video, I want to talk about a recent experience I had. So in my previous video, I had talked about the Spillway Wine and Spirits block party. So that weekend alone was truly an epic weekend. We had the Spillway event on Saturday. Then on Sunday, Sean, my friend from Hecko's and Eternity Bourbon, he had a bottle share here in Columbus, Georgia. He has them about every 6 weeks, and they're always just a really good time. And this one in particular, he had brought a pizza truck there. It was a wood-fired pizza grill food truck, and I just thought that was pretty cool. And as you know, I want to shout out to them because they made some phenomenal pizza. But really, what I want to talk about in this video is the Monday, which ended up being Sean's birthday, which was very cool. He had asked me and 4 other people to go with him down to 13th Colony Distillery in Americus, Georgia, and help him pick a barrel pick. Now, you know, there's no doubt of my love for 13th Colony. I talk about it on this channel all the time. I mean, I've said this several times, and I'll say it again. Their success leads to my success, because as long as they're doing well and they're producing good bourbon, then they'll have a bunch of barrels, which I in turn will have the ability to build, the various projects I do, the cabinets, the tables, and everything else I build with the barrels. And I love the fact that they're that close that I can get down there and get the barrels relatively easy. Now, I can only imagine if I lived in Kentucky how much easier it'd be, but down here in Alabama, right here on the border of Georgia, it's just 13th Colony provides me what I need. So anyway, let's get into this barrel pick. So, really cool experience. I had been to Short Barrel with Sean before, and then I've done a couple of old soul barrel picks through the Classic store on Fort Benning. And so I had done some barrel picks before, but I just thought this was a truly unique experience. And so, I'll kind of go through as we went through this. We go down there. And we met Brian and Megan. They work down there at 13th Colony, and Brian did a quick tour for the individuals within our group who had never done a barrel pick before. And then he led us around, and him and Megan had already set out everything that we needed. Now, the cool thing about it was I didn't realize the distillery was going to be closed that day, so it was pretty much we were the only ones down there that day. And so when we got around the corner, they had already set out everything we needed. And one of the cool things I thought they had set out was these glasses. These are the glasses that they use for their barrel picks. Now, they told us the bourbon judge had been down there the day before, and he had done a barrel pick with some friends of his. The thing that's pretty cool and unique about this glass is they said, okay, each one of y'all can take one of them home. On the very back, and I'm not sure my camera will pick it up, but it says single barrel pick on the glass. And, I just thought that was kind of a unique, kind of little, souvenir for them to let us have to commemorate our bourbon pick. Well, Sean's bourbon pick, because Sean picked it for his channel. And hopefully soon it'll get out to his Patreons to where they can get, some of these bottles, because I think we did pick a pretty good bottle. Now, the other thing they gave us was this sheet, and I'll just kind of hold it up for everybody to see. And this was the sheet that we could use to kind of tally up what we thought. Now, I just thought it was so neat that I didn't really want to write on it. Plus the fact that I had used my phone to collect the notes I wanted to kind of come to the conclusion I wanted. So, I'm going to walk you through the four barrels that they let us choose from. Barrel number 1 was a bourbon, and it was barrel 2687. It was a 5-year, 3-month bourbon, and it came in at 118 proof. Number 2 was also a bourbon. It was barrel 1999, which that's pretty darn cool, and that's the first time I've realized that. It was 5-year, 7-month. It was 121 proof, and it was a maple finish. The third one was a rye. It was barrel 807. It was 4-year, 7-month, 124 proof, and it was French oak finished. And then number 4 was also a rye, barrel 781. It was 4-year, 7-month, 124 proof, and it was a maple finish also. Now, um, you know, if you follow the Bourbon Insider from 13th Colony, you'll know that they had done a barrel pick down there where they had even number of people, and it went split. It was half of them liked the bourbon and half of them liked the rye, and so they eventually came to the conclusion that the rye was the better of the two, but they named that bottle Split Decisions. Well, guess what? We decided to do split decisions too, because I didn't think nothing of it, but there were 6 of us, and we went half and half. Half of us liked number 1, and half of us liked number 3. I was one of the ones who thought the rye was very unique. It was a French oak dry, or French oak finished rye, and I had never seen 13th Colony do that, so I was kind of like, wow, this is as far as I know the only time I've ever seen a rye that was finished with that particular wood from 13th Colony. So I was all about that one. And quite frankly, it wasn't the finish that got me. It was just the taste. I mean, I'm a big fan of like finished ryes. I think that the rye the finish accentuates the rye really well. Perhaps maybe even better in the bourbon sometimes. And so I was just all about number 3. But the other half of the group, they like number 1, just the straight bourbon. And so Sean, he kind of tallied up scores. He had a scoring system to where, we went. We told him what we thought. He tallied scores, and he came down and it was tied up. And I started laughing because I was like, man, we should have brought an odd person. Well, Sean was smart enough. He just finally, there was another person in the room who was not of our group. And I'm not going to mention who it was. They might not want to be mentioned, but either way, he went to that person and let that person kind of, do the samples of the two, and that person liked the bourbon. So essentially, it came out 4-7. 4 of the 7 of us liked the bourbon. And so when Sean's barrel, and don't get me wrong, it is a phenomenal single barrel bottle. I'm pretty excited to get my hands on one so I can go back and re-examine it. So, but the cool thing was, when we got ready to leave, I was gifted this. And this is a sample of the French oak finished rye. And so, I was pretty humbled that, they would let me have this just to go back so I could have a couple more pours of it. But, thanks to the team down there for doing that for me. That's just, it just shows the class act that 13th Colony is. I've yet to have an experience with them that I didn't walk away and say that, these are just some really nice people. But anyway, when we got through, we kind of envisioned that was going to be it. It wasn't. Brian went and found a bottle, and he says, I want y'all to all try this. And what he had in that bottle was the double oaked single barrel, which just, if you follow, once again, you follow 13th Colony, on Thursday, they announced the winners. There was something, I want to say, what I heard, there was 35,000 people who put their names in a hat, and then 90 people, there were 90 bottles. That's all that yielded out of that barrel. But I can tell you this much. It was ultra aged, and it was extremely, extremely good. I mean, I was like on pins and needles with both my fingers crossed, hoping that I would get picked. Now, I didn't, but I've got a good friend that lives in this area, Ken. He did get picked. And so, Ken, if you watch this video, man, good for you, buddy. I'm glad you got that. And it was, the picture that you posted on social media of you and your wife down there with that big grin on your face, it said it all. So, I'm hoping that it is, you were enjoying every drop of that bottle. But, so we got to try the double oak, which, for me was like, wow. And then he asked our opinion on another bourbon that he had finished with some wood. And I'm going to keep that one to myself for now, because I'm not real sure Brian wants this one out. I'll just say, for me growing up in central Georgia, That particular wood held a special place in my heart. And I'll just say that much. You maybe can figure it out from there. But I'm eagerly anticipating that this does get released, and when it does, I'm going to be all over it. So after it was all said and done, we hung out for quite a while longer, and just spent time with each other, enjoyed each other's company. One of the gentlemen was also a veteran like myself, and he gave the team a flag and a certificate. And my understanding was the flag had been flown while he had fought or had been in Fallujah. So I thought that was pretty cool. It just I could tell they were very appreciative of it. And then once we were done, we all loaded up and we drove over to Monroe's, which once again, if you didn't catch in one of my earlier videos, Monroe's a place in Americus, Georgia that does chili dogs and slaw dogs. And for people that are not from the South, we like hot dogs down here with coleslaw on them. And some people are probably like, oh my God, it's so gross. But they're pretty darn good. And so we went over there and we enjoyed the day. We finished up the day with some Monroe hot dogs, and then we went home. Now, I've got the barrel that we used, or the barrel that the bourbon came out of. It's in my garage right now, and I'm going to convert it into a cabinet for Sean. I cracked it open today, and that was the wettest barrel I've ever seen in my life. I mean, I was essentially scraping mud out of it, but which is cool because I got it all in a bag, and I think I know where I can find me a 13th Colony bottle, and I'm going to put the char in the bottle for him. But either way, it was just a great experience, and I'm so humbled and so thankful that Sean allowed me to go with him. So Sean, Echoes and Attorney Bourbon, thank you, buddy. You definitely made my day, and the most important thing to me was I got to spend your birthday with you. So with that said, if you're sitting down tonight and you're having a pour, hopefully you're having it with someone you care about, and you can build those memories. So until the next one, y'all have a great day.